Nebraska has been back at it now. It's hard to believe. By the weekend, they're going to have 10 practices in, and it's just flown by. I mean, there's just 5 more left, and really just 4 more left because I don't really count the fan festival where we're going to see former players playing as a practice. It's going to be more of a deal, but
deal. It's going to be more of a deal.
No scrimmage for Nebraska right now, at least as of this week. I think the storyline of the week, though, was Marcus Satterfield. We heard from Coach Satterfield the first time this week since he was demoted from being the offensive coordinator to just the tight ends coach, and obviously still paid his same salary of $1.4 million. So none of those parameters have changed for him. But he spoke about just how humbling it was, but how much he loves Nebraska, and he wants to make this work, and he wants to see Nebraska get going.
Well, he also said, is quoting Marcus Satterfield, we as coaches preach every day there's going to players, there's going to be adversity. What happened to me is no different than a player getting benched or having to go from first team to second team. I believe in this place. I believe in Nebraska. I still believe in it. We have great things ahead. I think we can do it. I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to finish what we started. And I thought it'd be a great example for our guys. He's right. I mean, that's a very professional, positive way to look at it.
Yeah. And I'm sure the money part of it was enticing. It's like, oh, I can still coach and make the same money. That's fine. All right. Yeah. So I'm sure that played part of it, but I also do think that there's something to the loyalty and relationship he has with Rule. The fact that, this was still something he wanted to be a part of. I know that Nebraska, I'm sure, is great for his family, but I think he's also invested so much and, has such an appreciation for what this last 3 years of building the program have been, and he wanted to continue it. So, I mean, I think there was a long list of reasons why he would want to stay, despite kind of an uncomfortable and awkward situation for him, which, I do like how he approached that, you can't tell players, hey, you lost your job, deal with it, find a way to get better, and then not do the same thing yourself when you're in a similar situation.
And I think it was more than, I think it was more of that than just money.
Yeah. I just say that helped, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a pragmatic.
It would help if I was in that situation,
right? If there's a pragmatic part of it, you got a family, you still got to take care of, and you're in that profession, you got to get what you can as an assistant, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what he's doing, but it's not. I don't think it's all about that. I do think there's those very, I don't know, less cynical reasons.
Well, then you had Heinrich Haarberg speak.
Yeah, Heinrich,
and kind of a similar story. Here's a guy that had the keys to the Ferrari with Satterfield. And he got transferred to being a tight end. And
what's that? Is that a light duty pickup?
Yeah, he got into a light duty truck. I would say tight end's a little heavier duty.
Okay,
but
kind of an older model, big pickup.
But here you had the two guys that were driving the sports car together, running the offense at quarterback and offensive coordinator, to now relegated to probably the lowest profile position on the offensive coaching staff. And they've both embraced it for different reasons. Mm-hmm. Satterfield talked about it, but Haarberg, for him,
Haarberg too did. Yeah,
he's from Kearney, and his dad played here. He's got a relationship with Harper Murray. He's got a lot of things that he loves Nebraska and loves this state. And Dana Holgorsen, I think, has sold to him, hey, I believe you can be a tight end. By the way, guess who said that a couple of years ago on the way out the door and left those notes for Matt Rule and Satterfield? Mark Whipple.
Oh, really?
The final notes he left for the new coaches when they came in were that he thought that Haarberg was probably a better fit to be a tight end.
Wow. Whip leaves a lasting legacy at Nebraska.
Oh, Whip.
Now, Haarberg also said he's really close to Satterfield. And they got tight. You guys remember we covered the 2023 season. Remember, it was just patchwork every week for the offense. They had all those injuries.
They were on the option.
Yeah. Satterfield had never taught the option. So Haarberg said, we got really tight. He said, he had a great quote. He said, Sat knew that I was going to do whatever I could to get a win on Saturdays. And I watched him basically live in the facility that year and give everything he had. He said, that's a guy I'll go to battle for any day of the week. So yeah, they've kind of I don't know, falling down the ladder together a little bit, you know. And that's life. That's life.
Yeah, for sure. And so I do think that the loyalty aspect also plays into the Haarberg situation, where like he wanted to be a Husker. He grew up a Husker. Like playing for this team and this university and the program, representing the state, means a lot to him. So if he could have the opportunity to still have an impact, I think that, you know, that was going to be a pretty easy sell for him. But especially when you look at that tight end room right now, it is opportunity aplenty right now for Heinrich Haarberg to come in and have an immediate impact, if not be the number one by the end of fall camp.
Rob, he needs to be.
I know. And I think that was probably another selling point for him. Is like Rule talked about this. He's like, you know what? I know that you've been a quarterback all your life, but I have a track record of seeing what you could be at another position down the road, and a long laundry list of dudes that have thrived after making these types of moves. And so when he talks about a guy that wants to play in the NFL, Heinrich Haarberg's not going to be an NFL quarterback, but he could be an NFL tight end.
Will we see a Heinrich Haarberg throw this year? I mean, it's teed up.
Okay. We've done so well this podcast where I haven't been grumpy.
Here it comes.
Grumpy. Now here comes the grump. Why do we got to do that gadget stuff? I mean,
it was overboard last year, and like every time he came in,
Satterfield's gadget plays. Like, I mean, you gambled like your whole paycheck to get like 5 yards.
I covered the Lincoln Capitals in the Pershing Auditorium indoor league. I saw a lot of gadget plays. I get that, but does Alabama run gadget plays every week? I mean, why do we have to do this?
I mean, maybe like one or two, but like not a game-to-game thing. We're like, oh, here comes Haarberg. They're gonna do something wacky.
Thank you, Rob.
It got a little excessive.
Yeah. I mean, they even tried it with Carter Nelson last year.
Wacky.
Carter Nelson at running back because he's a state champ high jumper.
Right.
To high jump over the goal line.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't like the idea of taking the face of your franchise off the field or taking the ball out of his hands, especially when you need like a scoring situation. Like, I get it. Like, again, like here's a wrinkle that we're pulling out for once or twice a season, but like, no, it cannot be a weekly staple of your offense.
One of my favorite gadget plays was when Zach Taylor faked the timeout call and started walking off the field. It was in the Colorado game in 06.
I remember that.
In Lincoln.
I remember it.
And
it was good.
And
worked.
The offense stayed lined up and they snapped the ball directly to Tier Green, maybe?
I think it was.
Tier Green.
Hello.
What a name.
Yep. Wow. Had some speed around the edge, right?
Well, would you consider like Marlon Lucky's pass in the Texas game in 06? I'm going to Bill
like
Callahan
the halfback pass.
The halfback pass to Nate Swift, a gadget play. When they set that same play up a couple times before.
He did it a few times.
And then the safeties bid and he threw it to Nate Swift. I mean, that's a good gadget play. But you don't want to see junk gadget plays.
Well, yeah. I just like to see, how about just to throw down the seam to Heinrich? That'd be good too.
Yeah,
right?
Gadget plays work a lot better when the staples of your offense are working effectively. Yeah. So like I'd focus on that part first.
Yeah, and he needs every snap he can possibly get as a tight end. Okay, guys, we're going to take 7 plays here to work on this gadget play. No. I'm just saying, Sean.
No, I don't disagree.
Going back to what Rob said, I want to emphasize they need Heinrich to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Lindenmeyer's a good player, but he's not. You can't put the game on his back.
Need dynamic athleticism at that position,
right?
And Carter Nelson can be that guy.
I think
he's coming off of surgery, so like you need depth. Yeah. You need some more playmakers at that position.
Well, I don't look at Heinrich as depth.
No, he can be the starter.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I think he is going to be. I mean, they'll have they'll have 2 kind of starting tight ends, Lindenmeyer and Haarberg.
If I was his coach, I'd be telling him, you got to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you're our dude. Yeah. I mean, so learn how to block quick.
Yeah, this opportunity at a new position only works if you're head first and like fully committed to being the best tight end you possibly can be. And it sounds like he is.
Yeah, he'll be fine.